All right, everyone, it's time to talk about the No Kings movement. No Kangs, man. We was Kangs and shit. Link in the description archive, of course, Maddow the other day, who is almost universally wrong. She's sort of like Paul Krugman and a few of these other people. Just like, basically, if she says that you should buy a stock, you should probably avoid buying that stock. Just saying, the advice given by some of these people generally, Robert Reich is another example, generally is not particularly kosher. Sometimes it is. These days it's more pro-Palestinian than anything else. I digress. I like making jokes about such off-color things. The No Kings movement, though, despite Maddow saying, well, we're approaching the inflection point, almost 3.5% of the US population is supporting this movement. Are you intending some sort of violent upheaval, or are you just verbally masturbating? I'm going to assume the latter, because you certainly wouldn't lift a finger to do anything because you're a rich bitch. You're just there to whip people up into a frenzy. At this point, it's more like they're just trying to get people to go nuts enough so that somebody takes another shot at Trump and they're rubbing their greedy hands together, hoping that he actually gets brained next time. The fact is, this is not a revolutionary movement of any sort. It's going to dissolve. It's going to be a little bit like Occupy. Occupy, I think, in some cases, they had massive protests. You know, when Obama was giving all of our money away to automotive companies and big banks, completely selling out the entire population, people didn't react kindly to that. I wonder fucking why. This is not Occupy. This isn't even on the same order as the Pink Pussy Hat protests that you had. It's certainly not like the Summer of Hate protests after George Floyd got killed or after the 2016 election. This is diminutive compared to those. It doesn't matter if you get a bunch of people in a place that is far blue anyway to protest somebody who none of those people ever voted for in the first place. Yet we get it. Urbanites in far blue areas are mad right now because you lost. We understand that you lost and that you're mad about having lost. We understand this. You don't need to tell us again. So when a bunch of people get together in Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, or something like that, these are exactly the same people who have been continuously protesting now for the better part of a decade. It's all the time. Yeah, I don't think that that bleeds over much into small town America because the no kangs thing that I saw here was just like maybe 100 hippies hanging out on the corner briefly. That's the only thing that happened. This is a blue state, by the way. Go to the big cities, then you'll see larger crowds. If you have a city of 15 million people, it makes sense that you'd be able to get at least a few thousand people into a crowd for pretty much anything. It could be a goddamn Pokemon convention. I could show up in New York City and say, we're going to do the pro coffee protest. We're tired about the price of coffee. We need it artificially subsidized because I really need caffeine right now. You could easily get thousands of people to show up in such a thing, even if it was a complete farce. Even if it was a joke, people would show up to such a thing simply because you've taken an issue, you've chosen a very, very densely packed location, so there's more people there within proximity likely to be able to attend, and then you go from there. Try doing this out in Wyoming or something like that. See how far you get. The No Kings movement, I think, is going to dissolve. It'll be a little bit like Occupy. Like it starts off with a bang, right? Lots of people show up. There's fairly big crowds. You've got kind of a cohesive message. I had an ex that actually worked with the occupiers. I think she was actually, she was not just some pissant either. I believe she was an organizer. But it disappeared. Never led to anything. Did we get our money back from the automotive and bank bailouts or anything like that? Or did everyone simply go home after a few years? They went home. I don't even think this is going to last a few years. They'll keep up their TDS and their constant state of outrage as long as Donald Trump is in office. Second he's out of office, they'll direct it at somebody else because they're just non-functioning individuals, I suppose. But it's not going to accomplish anything. And the idea that there's some sort of inflection point, unless you get to the point where like a quarter of the population supports overthrowing the government or something like that, You're not gonna do jack shit. Most you're gonna do is ram the White House. Probably there'll be another attempted assassination at some point. Trump will probably dodge that bullet quite literally too, because he has certain protection. And otherwise, you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna yell. You can waste your time doing so. It's your right to free expression, but it's not really accomplishing anything. Most people are laughing at you. The fact that you have dudes wandering around like fucking dinosaur suits and stuff like that. Come on, dude. You're ripping off decade-old memes to try to promulgate your movement. Frogs stronger together. Dude, you realize how retarded you look right now? Enjoy. You know, your kids in the future, they're going to think so highly of you for wearing the frog costume. I'm having a good time in case you didn't notice today. That's about all. Peace out.